Hi, Intuitive viewers. How's it going? Hope everybody's doing well. I just thought I would jump on and answer a few questions. I have a message that I wanted to give to you guys. So let me go ahead and do that. I did want to let you guys know that we're going to have one more medium class. So if you didn't get into the two that we did, we decided to add another one because there were people that didn't get in still. So if you're interested, it's going to be the last one. And so, yeah, it starts November 30th. So if you're interested, go ahead and sign up. I'll put the link in the description. Okay. So people wanted me to look at the Terry McAuliffe, I think that's his name, McAuliffe race in Virginia. And I did look at that before. And what was interesting was I kept getting how well connected he was. And I even said in it, I'm like, I think maybe even Obama might come stump for him or something. And he did. So that was kind of exciting. So, but the reason that I bring that up is not to pat my guys on the back, which I do often, but it's to let you know that when something like that happens or comes true, I know that the full prediction was true. So in the prediction before, and I'm going to look at it again because these things can change. We have free will, so these things can change. The energy can change. But at the time, it said he would win. That Terry McAuliffe would win. So, and one of the reasons is because he was so well connected and had such support from people in high places. So anyway, so let me look at that again, and I'm going to go ahead and look at that. So I still feel like he is going to make it through. It is going to be really close, though. I have to say, it is going to be a close race. It's not one that I'm actually following that closely, so I'm not exactly sure what's happening in the polls right now, but it's like every single person that's going to vote for him needs to get out and vote for him. This won't happen on its own. It's got, the people are going to make this happen, but it feels like it's going to be really, really close. Luckily, I do feel like there'll be fair play. Like it will be a fair, it will be fair, which is, that's something that is actually usually in Democrats' favor. That it's actually going to be a fair thing. It'll be, it's usually a good thing for them, but I feel like it is. And unbelievably, it's going to be close because I feel like the other guy is just an opportunist, just such an opportunist. It's clear he just doesn't, it's not like he really wants to do the job or anything. It's like he wants to see what he can get out of this job, So I do hope that that's the way it goes. But it is like every single person who's going to vote needs to get out and do it. But it looks like it still looks like he's going to win. It's just going to be very, very tight, very, very, very close. But I'm still getting him as the winner. Okay. So that's what I get. Okay. So, and somebody also wanted me to look at the Rittenhouse case. The young guy that, during the Black Lives Matter protests that shot, I think he shot 2 people or 3 people, but the young man that is, whatever, being hailed as a hero by, people that like that kind of thing, white supremacists, I guess, I don't know. But so I'm going to look at that. I'm hearing landmarks. So there's something about this that's going to tell us about other cases going forward. Something about this judge too. I feel like there might be civil suits after this case, some kind of lawsuits or civil suits or something to follow this. Um, um, and there's something about where this is taking place that's a problem. I don't remember what state it's in. I'm so sorry, but it's like it's the area or place or something. It's like there's a lot of support for this kid. And there's a lot of that type of thinking in this area. So it's like it's a problem. It's a problem. It's weird. I feel like, okay, I'm going to just tell you exactly what I'm getting. It feels like the actual sentencing may be kind of a disappointment, but I actually feel like it's almost like, don't let that make you feel like this kid is not going to feel the reverberations of this throughout his life. And that it will be seen, it's being seen through one lens right now because of where the country is, but in 10 years, it's going to be seen in the correct light, and I'm saying 10 years is just a figure, but it's like in the future, it's going to be seen as like, this was a horrible thing. It will be put in proper perspective. It's very weird right now. And it's partly where the stage is set, where this is taking place, where it took place. It's also the time that we're in. So the outcome may not measure up to what actually happened, but over time it will be seen as it properly, basically. That's how it feels to me. But I also feel like there are civil suits to come. There's something about his mom, like overcompensating for something. I feel like in a way, like he was spoiled or something. It's weird because I don't feel like they have a ton of money, but I feel like he was indulged or something growing up. But his mom was compensating for something, because he didn't have a lot, or because she was a working mom, or they didn't have a dad. I'm not really sure, but it's kind of like compensating for something that she felt he lacked. And so it's like all this overindulgence and ego building and that kind of thing, and kind of made for a unbalanced, is the way they're putting it, an unbalanced human being. And not his, he's not fully developed. His brain is still growing. He's still a young person. So it's hard. It's a hard situation for it's just a bad situation, and he shouldn't have even been there, but it's his upbringing they're talking about. So it's such a tragedy. So sad that these people were shot, and this is just, yeah, it's awful. So that's all I'm getting with that guy. And I'm going to step out of that energy because it's very confused and feels a little bit toxic, I guess. It's just not a good energy. Doesn't feel good at all. Okay. Oh, stepping into her. Now I'm going to look at Steve Bannon. Great energy to step out of and into. Okay, so Steve Bannon. Somebody wanted me to look at old Steve-O. Let's see where he is. Okay, so Steve Bannon. he's I feel like he's moving money to somewhere. I feel like it's going overseas, but I also feel like he's giving money to lawyers. He's angry about that. Like this is where money always goes, is to attorneys, and he's angry about that. There is a nervousness about him that I picked up on before that is uncharacteristic of him. Usually he's pretty like, I'm going to get away with everything. I get away with everything, just a cocky kind of energy. But this feels very uncharacteristically kind of nervous and kind of, yeah, a bit worried, It's interesting because I feel like he's kind of, I don't know if he's actually negotiating with the committee, but I feel like he's negotiating something with someone. It's almost like, what if I absolutely have to, maybe I'll give written answers. I feel like there's some kind of talk or something about writing answers down or writing answers. And I also feel like I'm going to take this as far as I can. Like I'm going to go as far in the courts as I can, like string it out as long as I can. That's what it feels like. But at the same time, it's weird. I feel like they're talking about it like he's saying what concessions he might make if he has to, if his back's up against the wall. He has a real disdain for Democrats. Like they keep like those pesky kids, you know, like they're always foiling my plan. Like they get in the way, is what it feels like. They're so annoying. They get in the way. That's how his feelings about it feel like. It's like he's trying to accomplish something or do something, and they keep getting in the way. And it really bothers him. He just wants them out of the way. That's what I'm getting with him. I'm not getting a whole lot with him for some reason, but that's what hopefully that will kind of tell us at least what's a little bit of what's coming. Somebody wanted me to look at the nurses and doctors they were upset, you know, that they keep getting yelled at and screamed at, and kind of where this stuff with like the school boards and all this stuff is going, where it's coming from, that kind of stuff, where this supposed grassroots, you know, where this is coming from. Okay, I just heard paid really loud. So these are paid. A lot of these people, it looks like, are paid. They're paid like actors. And paid to like gather other people, like recruiters almost. So people are paid. And there are some, you know, that are just kind of diehards, you know, that are like the way they don't want to see things change, you know. They do believe in this stuff, in like my freedom and that kind of stuff, but it feels like it's where it's being ginned up, and kind of the almost like the push and the organizing of it is paid. It's like paid people. So the people that are like going out and really being the loudest, those are like paid people. And then people who are kind of in it get ginned up because of that. So they might react in a more aggressive manner because this person's speaking it, but that person's paid. So it's like a mixture of paid people, paid organizers, and then people going along. And they keep saying a last gasp. It is like, this is the, although it may feel like to us, like this is never going to end. This is just, it is the end. That's why this is happening. It's a last gasp. It's a last grasp. That's why it's so desperate and so weird and loud. It is coming to an end. And now the end may be 5 years, right? But the end is coming. The end is here. It's on top of them. They can feel it, and it's a demise. It's what it is. What it is. And I know that it doesn't feel like that day to day. It feels like, oh, they just won't go away, or they keep coming back, or blah blah blah. It's the end, and that's what is kind of they're grasping onto it. They're grasping onto it, and then they'll mourn it. There'll be a kind of a mourning of like what could have been, or what used to be. It has to kind of, the feeling is like it has to kind of play itself out. It's playing out. And this is what having this kind of society where we have billionaires and people in complete poverty, this is the kind of society it makes. We're facing something. And we've talked about this unearthing, things coming out, all of this stuff coming out, and things kind of, in a way, kind of rapidly changing, and then these slow changes that are finally turning over. This like corruption and things that are finally kind of coming to a head in a way they never have before. And so it's a lot of grasping and holding on and trying to, even if it's not good, it's familiar. So people are holding on to it, so we've got a mixture of that stuff, and it's all accumulating this really noisy, sad, clinging that we're all witnessing. And it's hard. It's hard to watch. It's hard to be in the presence of, but that is what's happening. And it will end. It will stop. But it is playing. It needs to play out. Okay. So when I've already kind of moved on to not watching as much news, not being as involved, because just the energy of it it's heavy. It's heavy. Okay. So I'm going to now give you the spirit message I've been getting for a couple of weeks now. And I'm going to do, I think, a couple of shows on it because I just feel moved to do it. I keep hearing the phrase "get grounded." I keep hearing that. And before I brought it to you, I wanted to understand what it was. I didn't know if it was just for me at first, because I get messages just for me that, listen, you need to do this. But it was like, no, get grounded. And I was trying to understand, is it like, like earthquakes and fires and things like that? It feels more like we need to get grounded and centered. Know where your center is, because out here, it's going to be a little disorienting. What's the truth? What's not the truth? Also a lot of like domestic, for entertainment purposes only. I wish I had, I did get Andrea's cards. I wish I had a little card, entertainment purposes, but it's going to be like domestic terrorism kind of stuff, rumors. Will Trump come back? Will he not? Things that are going to kind of play with our emotions and trigger us, and can kind of upset us, emotionally, and kind of keep us unsteady. And so Spirit is saying, get grounded, know where your center is, so that when things rock out here, you can get centered in here and know everything's okay. Everything's fine. This is just happening out here. It's okay. I'm okay. This is fine. It's going to be okay. But this is just having to play out. Okay, so that's kind of the message. So I'm going to do a couple of shows on kind of grounding and getting centered and being able to find that place in ourselves, because it's different for everybody. And there's different ways of doing it. There's being spiritually grounded or mentally grounded, physically grounded. There's all of these types of grounding and all of these types of kind of getting centered and finding that quiet place in ourselves that we know is connected to source and is okay. And that never changes. That's always the same. And so that is how I interpreted that message. It was like, get grounded, because out here is going to be wackadoodle. And I feel like it has to do a lot with like the government and with laws and with voting and with all of these things. And I feel like it's ultimately going to be okay. Ultimately, voting will be okay. Ultimately, democracy will be okay. Ultimately, but in the meantime, it's going to be all of this crazy talk and crazy stuff and this protest and this person, and it's going to be a little wackadoodle. And so it's just like, just get grounded, find your center, and then you'll be able to withstand it. You'll be able to weather the storm. So we're going to do that together, because I need to do that as well. We need to find that and remind ourselves where that place is. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this. I will be back on in a few days. I'm gonna I have a couple of surprises for you guys, so I'll be back on talking about that. I thank you guys for giving me a little bit of space for this past couple weeks with all the stuff with Lucy, and I really appreciate it. And my heart, I'm so touched by all the outpouring of love and everything that came for Lucy. And just thank you all so much. I just really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll talk again soon. Okay. All right. Bye.